going to get a muff, my mom said. You don't need a muff. Where do you even buy a muff? You're going to wear mittens. You need to have your hands free if you fall. You're going to wear mittens and this ski suit, and we're going to go skating. Fall? My poor mother, I thought. She didn't know who she was dealing with. The sleeves of the ski suit had elastic around the cuffs, so I couldn't even fit my hands in the opposite sleeves and pretend like I was wearing a muff like I had planned to do as backup. But as my parents' green Chrysler Town and Country minivan got closer to Montage Mountain, I convinced myself to get over it. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm still going to be amazing. My blue ski suit had green lightning bolts down the side that I felt gave off the vibe that I would be going very fast. Even though I wasn't dressed like her, I could still saunter across the ice just like the popcorn tin lady. My mom laced up my skates and we went onto the ice with all the other families out for a day of frosty fun. I took one step with the confidence of someone who had been touring with the Ice Capades for 30 years and immediately fell over. I was wet, cold, and absolutely devastated. I sat in the middle of this makeshift pond with the wind stinging my eyes and stared up into the dark winter sky, asking God to teleport me to the warmth and safety of the couch in our living room. The whole time we were out on that drafty fake lake, all I wanted to do was go inside and sip on a Swiss Miss hot chocolate, another fantasy that wasn't to become a reality that day. After that fiasco, I never wanted to go ice skating again. My dreams of being the world's next popcorn tin lady were over. Her elusive muff is a reminder that a lot of the major events of my childhood revolved around whatever outfit I would get to wear. For example, another one of my grand dreams was to host a talent show on the back deck of our house. As I planned it in my mind, I would coax my two younger brothers into performing their talents, which, at the time, probably would have been something like naming every species of dinosaur, singing the first verse of Till There Was You, or maybe they would have stuck to what they knew best and show off how they were able to stick their heads through our fence and not get stuck. Which they were able to do at least 70% of the time, and it was honestly impressive. I knew that no matter what they did, I was going to be the star of the show, and that's all I was concerned about. I was going to wear a white turtleneck shirt and these red plaid pants that my grandmother's sister bought for me. While this is not something Ryan Seacrest would normally wear, I was convinced it was the fanciest thing I owned because of where it came from. We called my grandmother Nana and her sister Nono. Nono spent a lot of time with my family because she had no children or grandchildren of her own, and she was a star of my childhood. For some reason, I thought Nono was the chicest person on earth. I remember her having fur coats and a maid, but that might be a fiction I concocted to make Nono seem famous. She drank canned Donald Duck orange juice just as I imagined everyone in Hollywood did. Every time I saw her, it was like looking at a movie star or Princess Diana or someone else whose job it was to be professionally glamorous. I got this whole idea for a talent show from an old episode of Barney and Friends where the purple dinosaur had a talent show for all of the kids on the program, including a young Selena Gomez. I wasn't just going to be like Barney hosting the talent show. I was also going to be like Selena Gomez, showing off my own considerable talent. Naturally, I was going to tap dance. Granted, I had never taken a dance lesson and certainly not a tap dancing lesson in my entire life. But I figured if I could get on my plaid pants, grab the microphone from our karaoke machine, and drag the entire family out onto the deck, that the ability to tap dance would just flow through my body like a gift from above. Unfortunately, the world would have to wait to witness the Gwen Stefani of Scranton, Pennsylvania, because the Rippon talent show was not meant to be. My plan was that I was going to put it on when everyone in the family was visiting my house for a birthday party or a barbecue. But every time one of those events occurred, there was always at least one Rippon child having some sort of meltdown. Maybe my brother was crying or my sister shit her pants. It was always something. Even worse, I could never find my plaid pants. My mother stored them away somewhere in case I needed an emergency Easter outfit, and she didn't have the decency to tell me where they were. One of the biggest meltdowns of my early years had to do with another costume. It was Thanksgiving week, and everyone in my preschool class was asked to choose if they wanted to be a pilgrim or an American Indian. Well, I went to school in the early 90s when the teachers still called them Indians.